Hi, Jeff at Bikes and Bites again, and today I have a special guest. We heard from her before. She told us about her riding experience. It's Nathalia. She's going to tell us about a lesson she learned when she was riding a bike in her home country of Colombia.
Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you about the scariest experience I had biking, which I actually learned a lot from it too. And when I used to bike with this friend that I started mountain biking, he used to tell me all the time, please bike on the right side of the road, come over here. And I was just like a little kid, just enjoying the mountain and just biking uphill. And yeah, sure, one day he kept telling me, didn't listen. And here comes a group of kids from the closest village. And yeah, like I didn't see them coming and they were just really fast. And so I ended up like turning to the other side and the kid crashed. He was okay, nothing crazy happened. But I was so scared for that kid that since then I never bike in the road side of the road, like always in the correct side, paying attention who's coming, who's behind me, everything. Because yeah, that keeps in my mind all the time. It could be worse than that, but thank God it was just the kid was okay. So yeah, that was a scary one.
Thanks, Nathalia. Say, do you remember the first bike you rode? Natalia's going to tell us about her first bike and how she accommodated for the bike she had.
Okay, Jeff, so I just want to tell you about my first interaction with biking. That was like 8 years ago. One of my really good friends, he used to mountain bike a lot and it just got so interesting. And I didn't have a bike, so one of my cousins, he used to have a bike like just in the garage, never used it or anything. But the bike was like, I'm sure it was like an extra large bike and my ride size is extra small, very tiny. And that was my only option and I really wanted to go with my friend mountain biking. So I started biking in this bike and it was awesome. Like I honestly didn't even like feel all the time like, oh gosh, I'm biking in a big bike. No, I was enjoying the ride all the time, but my friend was always really scared, mostly when we were going downhill. It's like, please be careful, don't go too fast, that bike is so big for you. But yeah, and I usually needed to jump on the bike. I needed to like tip the bike over a little bit to like actually get into the bike and start biking, or I needed to like find a step or something that I can actually jump into the bike because it was just really big. And then when I started like riding a lot, I decided to start looking for a bike. And my uncle used to have a hostel and he used to do mountain biking tours, so he had a bunch of bikes at the hostel. And he found out that I was looking for a bike and he sold me one of his bikes really cheap, which was great for me at the time. And yeah, it was my right size and I just kept doing it, and we did it like every single day for like 2 years or so. And it was my first experience by mountain biking. It was just great. Yeah.
Now, do you have any friends who are accomplished riders? I have a friend who a few years ago actually rode from the top of Alaska down to the tip of Argentina, apparently the world's longest road. Now we're going to hear about Natalia's friend.
Okay, so now I want to tell you about my friend, which I've been thinking about her a lot since I started doing and preparing everything for biking in the winter. Usually when I bike, I just think about her because biking equals her to me, pretty much. Her bikes are like around her. So my friend, she's Juanita, she's from Colombia. She's a really good friend of mine. And yeah, she was biking around the world. And for a year, she biked from, I forgot the name of the country again. Sorry. Vietnam. She started her trip in Vietnam. She flew from Germany to Vietnam, bought a bike there, and then she started biking all the way from Vietnam. And for an entire year, she was in Asia, and she went to Europe. And yeah, that took her a year. And she flew from Spain to Colombia, stayed in Colombia visiting her friends and her family for like 3 months, I think. and then she flew to Ushuaia, the end of the world in Argentina, and then she biked all the way from Argentina to Colombia. And because of COVID, now she is in Colombia staying with her family, her friends, but her plan is to keep going. She wants to cross from Colombia to Panama and start biking all the way to Alaska. And yeah, sometimes talking with her and she tells me all these stories and the experiences she had, because the majority of the time she was by herself biking she likes to bike the back roads. So yeah, sometimes it's like a huge challenge with yourself, being just you, nobody else. Or yeah, and many times she met great people on the road, other bikers, and they biked for a while together, and the pictures and the places that she went to were just amazing. So yeah, so I keep her on my mind every time that I'm biking or doing anything related to bike. It's just great. She's an example to follow in the biking world, I would say.
Thanks, Nathalia, for being on the show again. Look forward to hearing more from you about your winter riding experience. Hey folks, thanks for tuning in today. Have a great week.